Next on CTN News.
A lot of the equipment we currently have is 15 to 20 years old.
CTN Studios programming moving to high definition. Details on some exciting changes coming to your television. Plus the number of gun permit applications on the decline. More on how Anoka County stacks up with the rest of the metro, but first.
We've used approximately 8 to 10,000 ton of salt this year, which is down considerably of last year.
The science behind street salt following our first big snowfall of the year. That tops CTN News this Friday, March 6th, 2015. Thanks for joining us. The heaviest snowfall of the year sent plow drivers out Tuesday morning to clear the streets.
But what they put on the roads, how much and where changes with every storm. CTN's Joe Nelson joins us now to explain how plow drivers maintain the streets during and after a winter storm. Joe?
Steve and Karen, the day's forecast, cloud cover, wind speed, traffic, and potential effects on the environment are all factors crews consider before salting our streets.
It was just starting to snow when I started, and then we all jumped in our trucks and headed on out.
Anoka County heavy equipment operator Brian Rohde is used to waking up early to white roads and low visibility.
Our biggest problem for today was dealing with the slush. If we go too fast, we kick up too much slush in the air, and it winds up wiping out mailboxes. And then we have to go back and fix the mailboxes.
Anoka County has veered away from using only road salt to clear the streets.
Regular road salt at about 15 degrees, 10, 15 degrees, it doesn't work very well unless you have sun or a lot of traffic.
Crews started adding 6 gallons of calcium chloride to every ton of salt used.
The calcium adds to the salt. It causes the salt to activate faster, turn into water faster. And yes, it melts the snow faster.
Just what's in that mixture is a mystery.
Could be molasses, corn syrup, or sugar beet.
Road Maintenance Superintendent Jim Christensen says too much salt could waste their budget and pollute ditches, and not enough could keep roads icy and dangerous.
We look at what the highs temperature is going to be. We look at the sun's going to come out. Are the temperatures going to drop? If we start out the beginning of the storm and it's very light, we'll do very light rates, 100 to 150 pounds per lane mile, which is, not very much salt. And then, like today, when the snow increased, we'd go to about 300 pounds depending on the road.
Christensen says with all the storms we saw last year, the county used more than 25,000 tons of salt. But so far this year, they've used less than half of that, which could keep them under budget. Steve and Karen?
And we hope that trend continues. Thank you, Joe. Now, more of this fresh snow will be melting with the big warm-up that's predicted for the coming week. That's good news for golfers looking to start swinging their clubs once again. Bunker Hills is planning to open the practice range tomorrow, March 7th. There's still no firm date as to when the golf course itself will open for the season, but last year the course didn't completely open until around April 20th. Golf course officials expected to be a month earlier this year. The Bunker Hills Clubhouse is entering into the second phase of a potential remodeling project. This week, the City Council amended the 2015 golf budget to include funds for Phase 2, which will allow for architectural drawings for the project. Clubhouse officials say building use patterns have changed over the last 4 years, and improvements would maximize facility use, enhance the guest experience, and increase operational efficiencies.
An Anoka woman is dead after a crash on Coon Rapids Boulevard Thursday afternoon. The accident happened around 3 o'clock near the extension. Authorities say the 84-year-old driver crossed the center median from eastbound Coon Rapids Boulevard and collided with a minivan in the westbound lanes. The driver of the minivan was taken to the hospital but is expected to recover. The victim's name has not been released and the accident remains under investigation. An unmarked squad and another vehicle collided Tuesday afternoon at the intersection of Northdale and Crooked Lake Boulevards. Fortunately, nobody was injured and the State Patrol is investigating. There was a secondary crash while emergency crews were at the scene, but again, nobody was injured in that crash. Firefighters cleaned up fluid from under the squad before the roadway was reopened to traffic. An information session will be held next week for residents interested in becoming paid on-call firefighters. The session takes place on Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Fire Station 1. No training or experience is necessary, but you must meet a 10-minute response time. Training will be provided by the city. The salary is $12 an hour. The deadline to apply is March 20th. You can do so by logging on to the city's website at coonrapidsmn.gov. The number of gun permit applications in Minnesota spiked after Sandy Hook school shooting in 2012.
But those numbers are now on the decline. According to data released this week by the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, nearly 42,000 permits were applied for last year. In 2013, there were more than 60,000 applications, nearly double the number from 2012. Commander Paul Summer of the Anoka County Sheriff's Office says things are slowing down locally.
I would say that for about 18 months, we were seeing elevated numbers of anywhere from 400 to 600 permits per month. It wasn't until the latter half of 2014, I would say after about June, that the numbers started to come down, and it was kind of a gradual descent to where now in 2015 and late 2014, November, December, we're back right around the 200 a month.
Anoka County has the second highest number of gun permits issued in the state behind Hennepin County. There are currently 10,000 active gun permits in Anoka County, which is about 3% of the population.
A new cable provider could be coming to Coon Rapids. CenturyLink wants to apply for a cable franchise to provide cable television services in the city. Currently, Comcast holds the only cable franchise in Coon Rapids. This week, the City Council approved the notice of intent to franchise. Franchise applications are due by April 3rd, and a public hearing is planned for April 21st. The city recently reached agreement with Comcast for a cable franchise extension through the end of 2019. As part of the deal, CTN Studios will be receiving 2 high-definition channels for program broadcasts. This week, the City Council approved a $950,000 plan for equipment upgrades for CTN to allow for HD programming.
I'm extremely excited about it, and I think residents will be excited too to see their community programming, their council meetings, our local news programming, a lot of our magazine format that promotes the what's going on in the city of Coon Rapids. I think the viewers are going to really enjoy that.
The upgrade will be paid for with funding the city receives from its franchise with Comcast and cable user fees. Starting in June, community programming will be broadcast in HD with government programming to follow by the beginning of 2016. Still to come on CTN News, a show for deer hunters this weekend in the North Metro.
Plus, flooding at Mercy Hospital forces the evacuation and relocation of some patients. Also ahead, a chilly February dip. We'll have all the sights and sounds from this year's polar plunge at Crooked Lake.
We use the term guest. We don't use patient or resident.
And a new transitional care center opens in the North Metro. Details when we return. Flooding forced the evacuation of some patients at Mercy Hospital on Tuesday night.
Hospital officials say a damaged sprinkler head is to blame. The flooding happened around 7 p.m. in the East Tower. Several patient care units were damaged and patients in affected rooms were relocated to other areas. About 20 people in the emergency room were transferred to other hospitals due to space issues. The hospital has been cleaning the affected areas, but the hospital remains open and all procedures are being performed. The sprinkler damage was a result of a tampering by an individual in the hospital.
Well, as the number of baby boomers who live to old age rises, the need for rehabilitation services goes up. For those who want to avoid a stay in a nursing home, there's a new alternative. Last month, the Interlude Restorative Suites, located next to Unity Hospital in Fridley, opened its doors for business. CTN Steve Antis has more.
Okay, then I'm going to start unweighting.
Each step to recovery is slow for stroke survivor Dave Ryan. Here at the Interlude Restorative Suites, a physical therapist helps the 68-year-old use a state-of-the-art anti-gravity treadmill.
It's like it lifts you up. It takes some of the weight off of you so you can learn to walk again.
It's one of several pieces of cutting-edge equipment featured at Interlude, which seems more like a boutique hotel than a traditional transitional care unit for people who need therapy after a stay in the hospital.
We are very guest-centric.
Director of Wellness Becky Willett gave us a tour of one of the private suites and talked about the formula behind this collaborative effort to improve recovery outcomes.
With providing good quality care, high technology therapy in a very high hospitality environment.
They even have a bistro in the front lobby where they serve up lattes and other specialty drinks for guests, visitors, and the general public.
Recently, the leadership from the 3 organizations behind Interlude sat down and talked about the steps they took over a 3-year period to develop the concept.
There's a great energy around the accomplishment of having this now finally done.
Just even in terms of that transition from patients to guests, and and that mentality, that transitions them.
And they hope more people like Dave Ryan will step up to Interlude as their choice for transitional care.
I think it's helping.
Steve Antis, CTN News.
A skyway is still under construction. When completed, it will connect Interlude Restorative Suites directly to Unity Hospital. For more information, log on to interluderestorativesuites.org.
More than 1,000 brave souls took the plunge into Crooked Lake last weekend to raise money for Special Olympics Minnesota. Photojournalist Drew Shingen was there to capture the sights and very cold sounds.
2, 3, go!
Today we are here for the Anoka County Polar Bear Plunge. This is to benefit Special Olympics Minnesota, and we've got about 1,000 plungers here today jumping in the frigid cold water to take the plunge, with all the money and proceeds going straight to benefit Special Olympics Minnesota.
We're jumping. Sport and Special Olympics. Heck yeah.
This is my 3rd year of plunging, and I've wore this costume ever since, and by doing that I think I've raised around $1,800 over the past 3 years.
You come out and you stand on the edge and you look into the water and think, I cannot believe I'm doing this. This is just crazy and I don't want to do it at all. And then you've got hundreds of people cheering and clapping and yelling for you, and it gives you the encouragement to go in.
I'd say it's about the worst 2 minutes you can have, but how much money you raise for this, it's well worth it.
Yeah, so. it's a great cause. Yeah. We love the kids.
I love just seeing the excitement of everybody arriving here today. They're excited to do something out of their norm, a little bit crazy, a little bit insane, and to know that they're doing it for a greater purpose other than themselves.
Come on out. If you think you can't do it, do it. We're from Minnesota. That's what we do. It's for a great cause, and it's a Minnesota bucket list. So
it's a charge.
Yeah.
It's a charge, man.
Yeah.
Come out and do it. Have a great time and support a great cause.
Yep.
A record 1,050 people jumped into Crooked Lake last Saturday. In all, they raised more than $206,000 for Special Olympics.
For the 3rd straight year, the National Sports Center is playing host to the Minnesota Deer Classic this weekend. The event kicks off today and runs through Sunday in the Schwann Center. Hours today are until 8 p.m., Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There is a fee, but children 11 and under are admitted free. The show features hunting seminars and classes, hunting products and sales, trophy measuring, and much more. There's even a shed dog competition. For more information, log on to nscsports.org.
Time now for a quick check of what's new at the weekend box office. Howie Shapiro joins us with a rundown in this week's Now Showing.
I think I've cracked it. This is a new kind of life form, a new step in evolution. You are Chappie.
Chappie. When one police droid is stolen and given new programming, it becomes the first robot with the ability to think and feel for itself.
I don't want to die. I want to live. If you want to survive, Chappie, you must fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the great Guy Chambers.
Lordy Lord, have mercy on my ovaries.
First time in India?
No, it's just pretty much a dream until now.
Any other dreams I could help you with?
The second best exotic marigold hotel. When the best exotic marigold hotel has only one remaining vacancy, Sonny pursues his expansionist dream of opening a second hotel.
Sometimes it seems to me that the difference between what we want and what we fear is the width of an eyelash.
I'm so sorry. Were you talking to me?
We only have 2 employees. One's too old and one's too young.
I've never been on a business trip before. I'm pretty jacked.
Can you not say your whole name today? Because the client can lose focus.
Hello, I'm like Pancake.
What was your last name?
Pancake?
Like breakfast.
It's Greek.
It's delicious.
Unfinished business. A hard-working small business owner and his 2 associates travel to Europe to close the most important deal of their lives.
Just do it, throw it. What happened?
I'm Howie Shapiro, and that's what's showing.
All right, thanks, Howie, and we are out of time.
Join us again next week.